Hi, I'm Justin Wink, Ph.D., and you're listening to the Engineering Emotions and Energy Podcast. Are you ready to bust burnout, pursue your passion, have more time, money, energy, and relationships you actually love, including the relationship with yourself? If so, then this podcast is for you. I'm a best-selling author, coach, consultant, speaker, and a leader in transforming people's lives from living in fear, obligation, and guilt to living a life of joy, ease, and love. What's most important is that I can teach you all this in a way that's enjoyable, easy, fast, and can actually last. Let's begin. Today, I'm talking about your obligation to be happy. And if you're a big fan of mine, been listening to a lot of the things that I do, read the book, you might be going, why the fuck is he using the word obligation? I'm going to go all into that, tell you about that. I do have some exciting stuff coming up. You're definitely going to not want to miss this show and the other things that I got that I'm stirring, getting ready to go for the rest of this year. Because I don't know if you've checked the calendar, if you're watching these live. If not, that's okay. This calendar, same thing happens every year. It's currently just first week of October. And it's like, wow, that means 3 months left till the end of the year. And there's kind of usually that natural of like, oh boy, calendar year. How can I get that done? Make what I wanted to happen. So yeah. So this is, I got some things coming up so that you can actually complete the year feeling good, feeling great. And you're heading into next year going like, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm already ahead. Because sometimes that's the worst thing, is already feeling behind. And when you're behind, sometimes you don't even want to play the game, right? I know when I was in college, I had a roommate and I'd play racquetball with him. And he was the president of the racquetball club at the university. And he would just kick my ass every single time. Like maybe I would score a couple points on him. There was one day where I think he was having an off day, something was going on, but I was actually ahead of him. I was about to win. And then he realized, he's like, oh no, this is not happening. And he came down from like 10 points. I can't remember how many points in racquetball. But the point is, I should have, it should have been a win for me. Anyone would go. But he comes from behind, he wakes up and then poop, 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 and he beats me. And after that, I'm like, all right, it doesn't seem like there's any chance of winning. I'm just not going to play anymore. So wouldn't the game of life be a lot more fun if it felt like you had a chance of winning, or at least you felt like a winner while you were playing the game? Because that's the other thing, is there really is no winning. There is no losing. It's just ongoing set of games. So the whole point is, are you enjoying your life? If you're not enjoying your life yet, then you really, you want to keep listening to the show. You want to probably talk to me, do one of my master classes, or do some one-on-one coaching with me. So why do I use the word, you have an obligation to be happy? Because this is for most people because chances are, if you are taking your happiness seriously, which is kind of funny because like, shouldn't it just be, joyous, happy, fun? But there is an element of, you got to take your happiness seriously, so that when you're not happy, it's like, okay, something needs my attention. So the reason I use the term obligation is because if you're not taking your happiness seriously, then you're probably taking your obligations seriously. There's probably some important things that must be done in your life, and you can't be happy until these things are checked off of your list, that are accomplished, and that you've done the things that you're supposed to do. So really what I'm asking is, flip it around and make the obligation your happiness. Because a lot of people think that their happiness is dependent on their success. And that is old bullshit ways of doing things. I don't even know if that ever worked for anybody. I think a lot of people just said like, we don't know what else. And they just went with it. Yet more and more, happiness is what drives success. Happiness brings people into your life that bring opportunity. It brings opportunities to you, and it brings creativity. And creativity, more and more, is the driver of all success out there, because we're getting to a point where just getting things done, just moving stuff from A to B, and just humans don't need to do it, right? Self-driving cars, there's more and more automation, that the things that would have been didn't require a lot of thought, just repetitive effort, it's not necessary anymore. But what becomes important is, what's new, what's innovative, what's going to solve a problem, what's going to create something that makes somebody go, oh my gosh, wow, I want to pay attention to this and I want to pay for this. And happiness is one of the things that brings that more and more and more. The other important thing is what happens when you're not happy. And why it's an obligation is it's downright selfish when you are allowing yourself to not be happy. Because what is happening when you are not happy? That means that you're allowing yourself to be in fear, obligation, and guilt or shame. And these things don't just impact you, they impact those around you. So I still work at a tech company. And like most tech companies nowadays, there's challenges, there's issues, there's uncertainty. Because, the whole, just the industry and then macroeconomic conditions of, is there going to be a recession or we're in a recession? How long is the recession? How bad is the recession? The layoffs, there's been layoffs. Will there be more layoffs? Are they going to lay off somebody soon? All of these things, they're swimming around every tech company. And the thing is do you take that on, or do you choose to take your happiness seriously and go, hey, yes, these are all possibilities, yet right now I got a job and I got some things to do and I'm okay and I've been okay and I'm going to be okay. The last week I talked to a couple of coworkers. One coworker was in particular very concerned about, like, am I going to even have a job at the end of the year? Am I even going to be able to still get paid? All of these things just based off of pure fear, speculation, wonder. And as a result, he was very much worried about getting things done. He literally had the weight of the company on whether he was able to get other people to do tasks. And I'm just like, what you and me do, it matters more for the other people we work with, but it doesn't really have a giant impact on, the bottom line of the company. Like we're doing $100,000, $1 million type tasks, which is still not nothing. Yet when we're talking these large tech companies, they're talking billions, multi-billion dollar challenges, issues, things like that. It's about the perspective. And it's not to say that don't be a good steward of, what the company's resources, but it's like, does adding on all that unhappiness, that misery, that fear, does that actually benefit? When I told you about all the benefits of being happy, where there's creativity, isn't a creative solution to these challenges going to be way more valuable than just going down, checking boxes that we know, if not already, soon a computer and AI is going to be able to do? But if it's like, well, what are the boxes that really need to be checked to move the needle, to drive decision making, or to be able to create something that's going to provide value, that's going to bring in, the revenue to make all of these supposed problems go away? Isn't that where the focus should be? And so, I had this discussion, just going back and forth. And at the end, just my happiness, sort of my optimism rubbed off. And he was like, yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe I don't have to be forcing other people to do these things. I just need to let them know, and then let people above me know, like, hey, I asked and this is where they said they're at, and this is where I think it should be. And if we should do something different, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on, marking the risk, and we're going to do the best we can moving forward. Maybe we'll find some creative ways to do the difference. How cool is that? And then I was talking to another coworker who was also, she was actually not feeling well, because I was like, there's something up, like things are taking way longer than expected, and like the quality wasn't there. And I was like, what's going on? Is everything okay? And she said, I haven't been feeling well. And she gave me something specific, and I don't really want to share what that specific ailment is, because that's her business. But I was like, once I had some really bad hives that really bothered me once. And it was really interesting because I hadn't had hives for over 3 decades. And then, my dad sends me this package of knickknacks and other memorabilia and mementos and things like that, just out of the blue. He didn't say that he was sending in his pictures and stuff of me and him. And I took it like, does he not want anything to do with me? This is my interpretation of it. And I then broke out in hives. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm at a Starbucks with a friend of mine. I just start itching in my armpits. And a friend of mine was like, well, say hives means something's getting under your skin. And I have this book that is called Does Your Body Lie by Luis Martins Simoes. I'm not a medical doctor, I am a doctor. I have a doctorate, so I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a kind of doctor that likes to help people. That's a joke, but is it a joke or is it too true? I don't know. Anyway, so, none of this is, I'm going to say, medical advice. Yet there is starting to be more and more research that any ailments, issues, challenges with the body are more tied to our emotional state or things that have happened in our past or our outlook than anything external. And even if there are external things that happen, how we deal with them, how we work with them has, again, more to do with how we are emotionally, psychologically, mentally able to work with and handle them. And this book, this Does Your Body Lie, allows some clues for it literally is any ailment you could possibly think of. And so I went and looked up the ailment, and it's like this often happens when somebody's feeling ungrounded in the area of their family, their work, or their personal relationships. And I asked if I could, share this with her. I didn't, because again, it's like some people, they're happily being unhappy. Because again, I know for myself, like I had neck and shoulder and all these issues for the longest time. And it hit me once where I'm like, well, shit, if I suddenly didn't have any neck or shoulder issues, then I wouldn't have a reason to go spend any time on my own or get myself taken care of or go talk to people that aren't just coworkers or, the friends I had at that time. And I'm like, boy, I have a vested interest in staying, quote unquote, unwell in this. And so I never want to take anything away from somebody because, again, I wouldn't have wanted somebody to take that away at that time. Now there's plenty of things that I want to do, people I want to hang out, things I want to see and do. I'm very happy to not have any challenges. But I go and I look up and, I read this to her and she says like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I've been experiencing. My daughter just went away to college and I've, experienced a breakup recently. And it's like, we know the uncertainty of work currently. She's, and did it make her feel better instantly? Yet it brought an awareness to where some challenges are that have been facing her for a long time. And I often like to think the body is our kind of our own personal admin when it comes to our life's challenges. Admin, record keeper, recorder, where if something really horrible happens and we're not able to fully address it at the time, the body just kind of goes, oh, okay, challenging situation with family. Like, all right, let's put that in the lower back. Oh, yeah, work is not fulfilling. It feels like we have to control everything. Like, we'll just put that in some tension in the shoulders and the neck, and which is brilliant. It's brilliant. Our body is not our enemy. Our body is our friend. It's often, I know I haven't, but how often do you look at your body as being on your side, as your ally? Or often it's like it's the enemy, something to be subjugated, beaten, overcome. And a lot of times the way most workouts are, like a CrossFit or a marathon, where it's just like, oh, you just got to beat the body into submission and just, you don't want to pay attention to it, something to be overcome. Yeah, again, that's kind of a bullshit way of working with the world and with your body. It's like, hey, what's the message here? What are we supposed to learn? And then taking it seriously as part of our happiness of, okay, there's something that needs to be addressed. And it's amazing when those things get addressed, the body starts going like, all right, I can let this go. I can feel a little bit better. I can be a little bit healthier. And it's a guide to help go in the direction of happiness. If you're living a certain way and your body is having issues, it is telling you are not going in the direction of your happiness. It is using that pain as a signal to do something different. Like when you put your hand on a stove, it goes, ow. And usually we go, oh, I should take my hand off of the stove. It's that simple. And any other area of our life is actually just that simple. I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not usually like, oh, this job or this relationship is causing me pain. I can immediately get out of it. Like we can immediately get out of the touching of the stove. Yeah. Sorry, I started to think about the oven. Yet when we have the awareness, we can start to see the whole picture and see like, okay, well, where can I start to unwind this? Where can I start to get out of this unhappy situation or shift it into something happier? Because sometimes all it is about having a conversation, right? Having a conversation with somebody. So when you're that unhappy, I mean, so it starts to affect your ability to do what you need to do, how you work with other people. That starts to impact other people. They start to pick up on it, and it does start to impact the next generation. Another friend of mine messaged me and said, "Hey, does any of the stuff you do, does this work on does this work on younger people? Because my child is like not feeling good about what they've done." They said they don't have any pride in anything they've done since they were like 8 years old. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, because this person's same age as me, and we actually, known each other for a long time, and I'm just going, this like lack of pride. I'm like, I know this friend has it. I know I've had it, and we pass these things because we demonstrate that these things are okay at very subtle levels to those around us. And so if it's younger people, they're picking it up too and seeing like, I guess it's not okay to be proud of just doing great things that are simple yet very important and very meaningful, that things have to be amazing. Because I've seen this myself where it's like my best-selling book for quite a while. I was like, I don't think it's best-selling enough. It's like by all the criteria that everyone has said that makes a bestseller, I had a bestseller. Yet I'm like, but it wasn't enough. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Is it enough? It is. Celebrate it. And when we do that, and then we're passing that on and say it's okay, it's not okay. So this is why you have an obligation to be happy. Because if you do not fulfill that obligation, you are selfishly making other people miserable. It really is just, that direction shows other people this is the direction to go to. And there really is just kind of two directions. You're either going the direction of your happiness or you're not. And it's not to say that everything is going to be happy. I liken it very much to like, having a clean and tidy house. It's like, are you moving in the direction of a clean and tidy house, or are you moving in the direction of a stage 4 fucking hoarder? Now, I grew up in mostly like a hoarding style home where it was, oh shit, people are coming over. Like, all right, let's clear at least one room and then we'll just pack, some other rooms with shit and trash and garbage. And if a whole bunch of people were going to be like staying over, like visiting, that was, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work to clear out the entire house. The garage is just going to be ridiculous at that point. Nobody going to the garage. But it's like, are you going in the direction of continual tidiness? Because, every now and then someone's going to send you a bunch of things, or you're going to make some purchases or whatever. But the question is, are you going to allow that to let you start going back in the other direction towards the hoarding? Or are you going to go, okay, now I got some more stuff, yet I want to go in the direction of clean and tidy. And it's like that with our happiness. It's like, okay, something happened, like, lost the job, loved one died. It's like, okay, let's assess, let's accept it, let's really get to it. And that's really kind of what grieving and a lot of these is just to like really be in the present moment, to assess where we are now from where we went when something changed. And then the question is, where do you want to go from there? And so, how long it takes to grieve something or to process that, again, that can depend on the situation. Again, it's not going to be the rest of your life. That much I know for sure. Yet, or I've heard, and again, this is a little bit ancient traditions of enlightenment, that it's this, the more that we have cleared out what has happened in the past, the more that these feelings can be felt, processed nearly instantly. Now, I'm not there yet. I strive to get closer and closer because, again, I'm taking my happiness seriously. And if you take your happiness seriously, again, you're going to find ways like, all right, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. This is not acceptable to continue this way. I accept that this is the present moment and that I'm going to take responsibility, and I'm going to find a way to move in the direction of happiness. I'm going to find the right people. I'm going to learn the right things. I'm going to start taking some different actions and behaviors towards happiness, because it's my obligation for those around me that I care about and myself. Because if I don't do it, it's going to damage my body. It's going to damage my relationships, and it's just going to make for an unhappy world. And that really it's not the point of living. The point of living is to play for the joy of playing the game of life. And if you're not enjoying the game, again, there is no winning. There is no losing. There's just how you enjoy the game. So enjoy the game and play it as best you can. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Remember, podcast@justinwink.com. If you have any questions, suggestions for the show, follow me on social media, Justin Wink, Ph.D., Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Do connect with me. Do follow. Do like, subscribe. Rate this 5 stars and tell a friend if you think like, oh my gosh, this guy's got something. Oh, and the exciting stuff coming up for the end of the year so that you can more easily be taking your happiness seriously is I'm going to start doing a monthly masterclass to help you unlock your ideal life 10x faster. So each month, so be looking for this. It's going to be about 30 to 40-ish minutes where I'm going to teach you something and you are going to be able to leave. You're going to go like, oh my gosh, now I know something to do. I have something so that I can get one step closer towards my ideal life, my happy life. And then 3 weeks, I'm working on making this ship some more simple. I know I've made a lot of my stuff way too complicated, but basically every week there's going to be an offering and I'm looking at making it Wednesdays at noon Pacific. So once a month, it's going to be a little bit longer form, masterclass style. And then the other 3 weeks of the month, it's going to be like a really, really quick. So I'm going to be live streaming about 10, 15 minutes, some nuggets of wisdom that you're not going to want to miss yet. The really cool thing is for those that sign up, you're going to get to come into enjoy some private one-on-one coaching where it's just going to be you, me, and about 3 or 4 other people. So very small group. We're going to do some hot seat one-on-one where you come, you're like, Justin, I have this issue. And boom, we're going to give you a little something to get you going, to get that handled. And it's going to be amazing. You're not going to want to miss it. And so I can only do about like five people. So when the signups go up, you're going to want to get on that because once the seats are filled up, it's going to be wait list and, more or less first come, first serves, so if you've done it already, I'll, put you at the back of the wait list, whatever, so that we can give some new people a shot. But I really want to, reach some more people, get them moving in the direction of happiness. Because if you are not living the life you want, like something is wrong. Something is wrong, and it's up to you to figure it out. And you don't have to figure it out alone. I've figured out a lot of it, and I'm here to help you to take that next step so it can be easeful, joyful, and amazing. So with that, see you next time. Appreciate it. And with that, good day.